on, y'all? So I've been a little missing the last week, guys. I had to take just a little break just to get caught up with some things around here. But now that I'm back, y'all, I just want to do something I'm going to do every now and then, and that's called Last Week in Geek. And I'm just going to talk about the things that happened last week, y'all, that you're talking about, that I know that I really want to talk about with you. So guys, let's talk about Last Week in Geek, because there's a lot. But if you're new to the channel, what's going on? My name's Leo Rydell. Welcome to Geekly Goods, and here we cover the latest in movies, TV, with a little sprinkle of anime in there as well. I actually cover gaming on another channel called Critics Play Games. You can check that out down in the bio. But guys, let's talk about last week, because there was a lot that happened last week. A lot that I did see, and some that I didn't see. Your boy kind of skipped a few here and there, but let's start with one that I thoroughly enjoyed, especially when the episodes were really good, and that is Star Wars Visions, guys. This came out on Disney Plus last Wednesday, and I gotta tell you, the good episodes, the great episodes, I was really into. I mean, to the point where I just wanted a full series with some of these episodes, guys. Episode 3 and 5 in particular are my two biggest favorites of the season. Yes, I'm going 3 number 1, 5 number 2, and then number 3 is episode 7. Thoroughly enjoyed episode 3 by Studio Trigger, and they actually Studio Trigger did episode 7 as well. Maybe I'm a little obsessed with Studio Trigger. You know, I like me some Kill la Kill, but hey, that's the conversation for another day. I thoroughly enjoyed episode 3 because of these great qualities in the main character. Thoroughly reminded me of Naruto, main characters in shonen anime, and I gotta admit, I'm just a bit of a shonen simp. Like, I love main characters in shonen anime. Love me some Naruto, love me some Deku, love me some Ichigo. Like, I love main characters so much that I was like, yo, this is my episode. But not to mention just the little bit of a duel that went on between the twins and the Kyber crystal, and using the lore in that episode was fantastic. Episode 5, very close second. I mean, it was almost neck and neck for me. A lot of my friends, before I checked it out, really enjoyed episode 5. Some of them calling it their favorites, so I understand. Episode 5 is really good. I mean, I just like the story and where it goes with Sith betraying Jedi, and I don't want to spoil too much, but I just am gonna leave that there. I just loved the main character. I loved that they used another female character, a female Jedi, who kind of seemed like she was a little unfit at first, but ended up fitting in perfectly. And I liked the kind of translucent look to her lightsaber. Thought that was really cool. Another great play on the lore. And then episode 7, they gave your boy another black Jedi, man. They're like, look, Mace Windu ain't the only brother with a lightsaber in this galaxy, okay? Finn should have been there, but hey, that's discussion for another day. But man, this episode, I loved the character of Dan. I loved the contrast between the Jedi Master, Jedi Apprentice, or why did I say apprentice? Jedi Padawan. Sith Apprentice is where that title belongs, but and them going up against somebody with a lot of experience who was older than both of them. So I loved the contrast between those characters in the episodes. And look, it's not that the rest of the series is bad by any means. There are some really good episodes in there. Again, episode 4 with the village was really good, but these 3 episodes I thought deserved their own seasons. They were that good, guys. Love me some Star Wars Visions. So let's get moving on to Dear Evan Hansen. Now, I really wish I liked this movie. I really wanted to give more musicals a chance this year. Not a big musical movie guy. Look, I love me some Broadway productions, but I'm not a big musical movie guy. I kind of turn on a movie to get away from all the singing breaks and all the dancing and stuff. I go to Broadway for that. But I loved In the Heights this year. I mean, one of my top 5. I've watched it more than 10 times. I loved that movie, so I decided might as well give another musical a try. Unfortunately, Dear Evan Hansen, in my opinion, is a little problematic with its delivery. It does deliver a bit of a message that just feels messy to me. Look, I really like the idea of raising awareness about mental health and how people feel and what's going on in the home and behind the scenes. But when we start going down into the road of lies and villainizing main characters, just doesn't really work for me, to be honest with you. And that's how I interpreted it. And I know that this is very divisive, but guys, I cannot empathize. I cannot sympathize with this character of Evan Hansen because he lied to a family about their son. For me, that was just crossing the line. I just couldn't really get down with the story that much after that because there weren't enough consequences for this vile act, in my opinion. But of course, films are subjective. Let's not go too crazy. I didn't really like it. I hope you love it though, because if you are excited for it and you like musicals and you liked the Broadway production, I hope for your sake you enjoy this too. So Dear Evan Hansen, unfortunately, I'm gonna go with a 1.5 out of 5. Yes, that is a 3 out of 10, guys. Just not for me, not for me. But let's move on to one series that I have been keeping up with week to week now. And unfortunately, I just didn't get a video out last week, but I will have one up this week. That's Titans, y'all. Season 3. And I gotta say, Titans Season 3, this season is so good. The first 2 seasons, mediocre. That second season, in my opinion, is horrible. Just some of the worst writing, worst character choices. This third season is on a great track. We're already 10 episodes in. We've gotten some great fodder. And look, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen episode 9, we finally get an episode with Donna. Finally we get to see Rachel and Donna. And I understand that coming from the Red Hood stuff and coming down from other episodes in the season, it might be a little weaker, but hey, I liked it. I think the idea of a purgatory and Hank, Donna, and Tim meeting in a purgatory was a little bit much and a bit of a stretch, but at the same time, guys, like, I thoroughly enjoyed what I saw. I liked the interactions between these 3 characters, and I feel like if it weren't for a scenario like this, I wouldn't get to see the 3 of them together, and I really like that dynamic a lot. So I enjoyed this episode, even though the writing and the story are quite a stretch and maybe not the best choice to bring characters back by actually having like a black and white shot purgatory. I thought that was just a little cheap and maybe just a little generic and a little out of the imagination, but at the same time, I still like the 3 of them together. So I liked that interaction, was grateful for that. I dug the episode, didn't love it like the rest, and I would say it's definitely in the weaker of the season, but I think we've got 3 episodes left. Well, I'm sorry, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we've got 4 left, and with the last 4, there will be a lot of ground to cover with Scarecrow, what's going on with him, and Red Hood. I'm really excited to dive back into that stuff. And also, guys, I just wanted to shout out one more series that I checked out this week that I absolutely enjoyed through and through, and I am loving damn near every episode of this show, and that is Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is as wacky and wild as it was last season, and what's so cool about this season is, spoiler alert, unfortunately, Chief does die. And with that, we're back to the team kind of figuring out their identities once more, now without Chief, and they have these awesome emotional relationships and friendships where they kind of break down and don't really know whether they love that Chief is gone or don't like it, but deep down they know in their heart they miss Chief. And I'm loving the amazing episodes and great concepts they come up with. There's like a zombie episode. Guys, I am thoroughly enjoying Doom Patrol this season. Another series to look forward to that I will be covering is Foundation. That is on Apple TV Plus. I was going to go watch it, but I ended up not being able to quite catch the first few, but I will definitely have some reviews and reactions for Foundations coming up as well, because that's an Apple TV series that looks pretty good, and they actually sent me a little press box, so I'm like, all right, I'm definitely gonna check it out. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my little Last Week in Geek. Sorry about not having too much content up in the last week. I took a vacation, and then I just needed a break from the content, guys. Like, I just needed a quick little break to kind of get myself back together and get back to talking this amazing content, guys. Like, for a quick second, I'm just gonna tell you guys, I geek out so much about this content, and I love that we get to talk about it, even if it's just 2 people who view the video or it's 20,000 people who view the video. I'm just glad that we can all converse about these amazing shows and movies that we've gotten. I mean, remember being a kid when it was just cracking open comic books? Man, you guys remember before the times it was like Spider-Man and X-Men, and it was just comics, bro, and you used to be made fun of for liking this stuff, but now it is the mainstream. So it is so good to be talking to you guys. Coming up this week, there is going to be a lot coming. I will have reviews for both No Time to Die and Venom 2. I will actually also have a reaction for What If, and a reaction for the new Titans episode, and a reaction for Doom Patrol episode 3. So we got a lot of content coming up this week, guys. Be sure to stay tuned to the channel, and I might have a little discussion coming up about Visions and What If. Stay tuned. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video, and let me know, do you like this week's in Geek? Last Week in Geek? Let me know, what do you think? It's just kind of something I came up with on the fly because I ended up missing out so much last week, covering at least, but I watched and consumed it all. I just didn't cover a lot, so kind of thought this was a good way to group it all together. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, guys, and what you're looking forward to coming up this week. Guys, we got Venom 2. Let's hope it's better than that first one. We'll see you next time, guys, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button for your boy Leo Rydell, and we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.